So on to the 7th challenge now. These last two challenges were interesting to me because there are stories regarding to these challenges, but let me get into it. So you've gotten hold of your target's Android phone and you want to access the data and the files in it, but then you discover that it's locked with what we call the pattern. So you're given this data and you need to find the lock screen pattern. The flag is in the form of numbers. So you go ahead and download that. I've already done it. I've already done a lot of steps because this is like the 5th time I'm now doing this video. There's a lot of interruptions, but anyway, so don't mind whatever that I've written before. So you download that. My stuff is in zimctf2. So you download this file, you go ahead and extract it. You can extract it like in this way. I've already done it. I'll not bother do it again. You extract it, it makes this Android file here. So in this challenge you need to know where Android stores its password or pattern when you save it or initiate it, I don't know, on your phone. So it stores it in this directory that I'm gonna navigate to. If you Google around these areas, you get to discover this. There's these CTFs are a great opportunity to learn about security, so I really learned a lot. That's why I enjoy doing this. So you don't have to take what I say for it. You need to Google it, you need to discover it on your own, and you can only come to this video as a last resort to get that flag. So it stores it in data system. Yeah, so this is the pattern or gesture key. It stores it as gesture key. We call it the pattern or whatever. So you can view that file. It's in hexadecimal. You can use your hex editor to view it. I don't want to do it. But so you need to understand how Android stores this pattern or gesture thing. So this is how it goes about it. You have this grid, which is your pattern. I feel like I'm gonna explain in Shona at some point, but you have your grid here. So in the internals of Android, for it to register or for it to know what sort of pattern you're putting, it marks out these points as numbers. So this is marked out at 0. So if you select your pattern to go from here, it goes 0, and then this one is marked out as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think there are minimum I think you can do a minimum of 4 points, at least 4 points if I'm not mistaken. So an example would be, let me take out my gedit here. An example, let me minimize this. An example would be if you want your pattern to go from here. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse pointer, but here it's recorded as 0, and then if you move it down to here, this is recorded as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is recorded as 4, and then when you move it down here, this is recorded as 8, and then when you move it up here, this is recorded as 5. So this will be your gesture or pattern. So Android will record that as 0, 4, 8, and 5, and then it adds an extra security measure. So it hashes this value. Yeah, it hashes this value. So to produce, I think it's a SHA-1 if I'm not mistaken, to produce that hash value, and then it stores that hash value. That's like the security measure they implemented. But then this security measure is not sufficient because you have a minimum of 4, at least 4 points that you have to mark out when you're putting in your pattern, and then you have a maximum of 8 of 8, sorry, So this means that you can brute force this space in between. You can brute force these this space of numbers in between. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it clearly, but if you Google around these points, you'll find the point that I'm trying to make. So there are people who've already done that. We've made rainbow tables of these hashes. So you can simply look up the tools online. I'm going to show you one of the tools that I used. You can look up the tools online, and then you can go ahead and do the decryption. So this is the tool that I used, made by this guy called Kieron Craigs, who's actually a ghost, because it's nothing about him on GitHub. I think he now uses LinkedIn. His Twitter is, yeah, I think he just had one post. Anyway, doesn't matter. So you download this tool, you clone this Git repo. This is how you use this tool here. So from here everything is simple. So like I said, this is like the 5th take, so I've already done this. I'll just get to the files. I'll get to the screen where I did that. So what you need to do here is when you download that repo, it downloads this gesture crack here, which is this file, and then you have to specify the gesture.key file that you're trying to decrypt. So you run that file. This is Python 2, which is on Kali Linux by default, and then it gives you this pattern, and it says the log pattern code is 6780 so forth, which is actually your what do you call it, your flag. So let me just sanitize this and then submit this. My internet is poor because, like I said, a lot of people are back from the workplaces and errands, so it's a little bit clogged, so it might not work. But this is the flag, and yeah, so there you have it. And then the interesting story now. So when I began the IT or the programming journey, or the security journey, I don't know, you can read it in this blog. I think it's my blog. So I got to learn about Java from some guy, and I really wanted to hack that Android pattern or pin, and I expressed that desire over here. It says, I remember telling him about my experiences as well, and promising him that soon I'll be able to hack the pattern you put on your phone to unlock it. Yeah, so I basically thought of an idea to brute force that pattern. I didn't know it was out there because, I mean, I think I explained it in the blog as well, that I was in short of internet, I had no laptop. What did I think I had gotten one by then, but then I didn't know any IT thing. I didn't know how to install an operating system. I didn't know what Kali Linux was, but I just, well, yeah, you know, the rest is history. Now I'm here and I get to do what I wanted to do about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's so exciting. I'm so happy to discover this. Yeah. Cheers. You can read the blog. It talks about my security and programming journey. I'm not sure if I still subscribe to the same views because it's been quite some months since I wrote this, but anyway, cheers.